is awesome.
That was awesome.
You guys are awesome.
No, you're awesome.
No, you are awesome.
Sir, you are awesome. Seriously.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Welcome to this week's edition of Everything is Awesome. I'm your host, Kev, and this is a show where we sit down and talk to awesome people about awesome things. Welcome to if you're watching us on YouTube, the second YouTube episode of this show. That is a test episode because as we get ready to enter the 10-year anniversary of Everything is Awesome, we're introducing video podcasting. So next week, we'll have the fully polished version of video podcasts up. And that's right, if you are deducting reasonably there, that means that next week's episode, which airs on February 4th, will be our 10-year anniversary show. Our actual 10-year anniversary is February 1st, is when we started back in 2016. And that also means that today is a very special episode because it is our final episode of our 9th year as a podcast with Everything is Awesome. And holy moly, that's amazing. I've been podcasting for a very long time, since 2007, as a normal person would say. And so July 1 will be 19 years in podcasting for me. But none of my shows have had longevity like Everything is Awesome has had. That being said, obviously our number count, this being episode 206, doesn't reflect that legacy. And that's because mental health is important. And I have put a priority over that than anything else over the last few years. But something that I learned, I think I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, is that I'm really bad at taking medicine. And medicine was really helpful to get me to where I needed to be, to realize that taking a pill every day is just not something I can actually do. I have a bad memory. I forget to take the pill every day. And instead of like being a roller coaster person on medicine, diving back into my creative work is what really helps me mentally. It took me, almost 9 years, in November of 2015 was the anniversary of my uncle passing. And it was the first year I think I grieved in a healthy way, meaning I didn't shut down for 3 or 4 months. And I don't know if it was just learning to do that or if losing my uncle and not dealing with it, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve, but not dealing with it in what I would call a healthy way for myself. And then my father passing away early last year in 2025, if his passing helped me kind of figure out how to grieve appropriately. And again, and there's no appropriate way, there's no right way to grieve. I just meant for my own mental state, the best way. Long-winded way of saying that I came back to Everything is Awesome, and we've been releasing shows regularly over the last few months because it's part of my process to deal with things mentally. That being said, 2016, we'll get into it in the weeks to come, is a very important year. And I say 2016 because that's the year everything started, and meaning 2026 is a big 10-year anniversary for a lot of things in my life, including Everything is Awesome, including my first live podcast, including the death of my uncle. There's a lot of things that are happening this year that I'm really grateful that this thing has had legs for as long as it has. And what better way to kind of exit the 9th year of Everything is Awesome with a guest that I have known for over 10 years. Someone that I have been connected with through the Once Upon a Time community. And we've become friends over the course of those 10 to, I think, 14 years, that we've been working and talking with each other. So I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up 9 years of Everything is Awesome than talking with someone that really, outside of doing podcasting, made me feel connected to a creative world outside of Philadelphia, made me feel connected to a creative world within the industry itself. When we talk about Once Upon a Time, the rock opera in this episode, but that was, I think I maintained the website for that. I think I maintained a ticketing website for that. And like in exchange, the company that Starbird Media was before it became Starbird Media, Crude Humor Studios, was a producer on that movie in some degree. Not like an official producer. I don't know. I forget how it was officially credited, but through our support, digitally, we it was like my stepping stone into the world of Hollywood, for lack of a better term. And it's something that I've, been chasing ever since. And because of our guest today, like I've had the opportunity to chat with and work with a bunch of cool people who are from the West Coast or even from like the Midwest, because of a email that her husband, then boyfriend or fiance at the time, sent an email to us about their web series that they were doing. Me and Mike were doing a podcast about Once Upon a Time. And then through all that, we formed a friendship, and, Ace and I, we don't talk that often, but Erin Stegeman, that's our guest. I'm burying the lead. Erin Stegeman is our guest this week. And, her and I have chatted on and off, over the last like 10 to 14 years. And, there's times that we talk on a regular basis. There are times that we go months without chatting. But because of Erin, I really got my first, and I say this as I think before that happened, before meeting Erin, I was in a TV show called Bedford Diaries. But it was working on this cool project that, was so adored by a fan base, that really got me to feel connected to the world of Hollywood in a way that I had never felt before. So in a way, like I will always cherish this friendship I have with Erin and Ace. I call them Team West Coast. As you'll hear, they don't live on the West Coast anymore, but Team West Coast, like I'll always cherish this friendship we have with each other, because it is, in ways opened doors that I never had before. Like doing a live show off Broadway for New York Comic Con was an amazing experience that happened in 2016. That's a 10-year anniversary that's coming up. So anyway, today's guest is Erin Stegeman. That's what we're trying to say here. Okay. Erin, is a wonderful, creator, writer, director. And, we talk about some of the things that she's done. We mainly focus on like the parody heavy stuff that she's done, meaning, the Once Upon a Time stuff, the Game of Thrones stuff, the blockbuster stuff. And now she's going into doing something with Friends and Macbeth. We didn't even really touch on some of the other stuff that she's done, like since we've started, talking about Once Upon a Time over 10 to 14 years ago. She's done stuff with like Mattel, Passion Flicks. She does stuff with. There's so many things that she's got her hands in that we didn't even get to and touch on in this episode. In fact, we start the show being a couple of elder millennials talking about the weather, talking about being parents and kids and stuff like that. And then we kind of get into, it's a typical episode of Everything Is Awesome is what I'm trying to say. So without further ado, I'm not going to hold you back anymore. Right here on Everything Is Awesome, we're going to step into the studio with one Erin Stegeman, only on awesomepodcast.com. This is a good old fashioned Everything Is Awesome. So
yay. So I'll pretend you just said something really nice.
I totally did.
Gosh,
like Future Kev has it on lockdown.
I leave a lot to Future Erin. That one is very motivated. She doesn't have ADHD. She gets things done. She's super mom. She loves to clean. Future Erin loves to clean.
Yeah, so there's a reason that I have this pristine background is because the real studio is a fucking mess. So
oh no. How are you alive?
I have 3 kids. You have 2 still, right?
Yeah, you have 3. Yeah. That's right.
So, but same boat. I mean, once you have 2, a third one doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to fix my iPad a little bit because I am having to hunch down like this. I'm in the frame because I can't move my damn thing. Oh my God, guys. I'm so sorry. To our audience, we are just a mess this morning. I didn't have the right internet or browser, as fancy people call it.
It is classic, like, oh, you're just elder millennials bullshit. Like that's the
Ugh, ugh.
but yeah, so yeah, it being a parent with multiple kids, I just gave up on the house. Like I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Like
Yeah,
it is what it is. Like
you
I don't
have
care.
to.
People know.
Yeah, you'll go insane if you don't.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is like her nervous mechanism is to clean, and she's got like 3 young kids, and her house is meticulous, and I don't have any of that.
No,
No,
I could
like no.
never be like, even when I had no kids, like I wasn't a colossal train wreck, right? But like I still had stuff everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm a guy, so maybe that's part of it. But like I had all
And
my
a
stuff
creative.
hanging
I
on
feel
walls.
like creatives
Yeah.
are a little more messy.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, there is like, so half this studio right now is like still like Christmas, and then the other half is like cables and microphones and just all my crap. So it is, what a time to be alive. And
What
the
a
best
time.
part is we are getting ready to have someone move in with us temporarily. So I have to get this room ready for that. So
Oh gosh. And do you guys have do you have the snow coming? Is it
oh
coming
yeah.
up? Is it getting that north? Yeah.
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 So
We're preparing for the ice right now. It's crazy.
So that's a fun. So the last time we talked, well, maybe for the other short-lived podcast you were in Atlanta, but the last time like we talked for Everything Is Awesome, you guys were still out in LA. So I've been to Georgia exactly one time.
Okay.
When I was working for a company that was based out of there, and they were everyone that was there were like transplants from like New York or some other key cities, and they were telling me how like what the little bit of snow or ice you guys get, everyone freaks out. So
it's crazy. So I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis. So it's not as much snow as like the upper Midwest, but we get a ton of ice in St. Louis. And so that is so, and that like is the one, like tornadoes, we also get those. Those don't bother me as much, but like ice storms I don't mess with. So LA was funny because everybody would freak out when it just would rain.
Right.
And then here, our kids last year, it snowed 2 inches, I want to say, clean snow. And the kids were off school for a week.
What?
Yeah, a week. I'm not even exaggerating. The kids were off school for a full week. Like all of the moms, like some of my friends that are transplants out here, or just even the locals were just like, let the moms drive them to school. Then like, we're all fine going on the road. Like there's nothing at that point. The roads were clean. I don't know what was happening, but I'm terrified for this storm because it's ice possibly. And
Right.
that's far worse. And there's nothing out here. There are no service vehicles. It's a little scary. So I'm just trying to like laugh my troubles away for right now. Drink my matcha.
I figure once you're south of like, I don't know, I'll say like, I don't know how far south snow goes. I'm going to say North Carolina, but like once you get to these southern states that are warm states,
yeah,
none of them have the infrastructure to handle any kind of like winter weather, really.
No,
so
none. No, they had like that snowmageddon a couple years ago where people just abandoned their cars on the highway for like an inch of snow. I mean, it was wild. Just hearing about like my friend's mom, I remember in particular, was one of the people that had to leave her cars. And then Ace's sister and mom were in the Texas ice storm that happened a couple years ago and lost power for like 5 days.
Yeah.
And water.
Again,
so could be nothing or could be, the apocalypse. Who knows?
Meanwhile, I'm just like, and I live in the greater Philadelphia area. So yes, we're used to this snow. We're not as bad as like Maine or any of the northeastern states, but like, of course everyone is all right. How do we prepare? And I'm just like, generator, gas, and food. Like it's 2 days. Yeah. It's going to be 2 days where we might not be able to leave the house.
Yeah.
Like
it is. I don't know that I would be able to handle living in areas that aren't prepared for snow
No,
because the
no.
world shuts down, and I'm not.
There was a meteorologist that's local to Georgia that I came across his TikTok or whatnot, and he said, he's like, so we could lose power for like a day or up to a month. It's like, cool. So,
Wow.
it's so ridiculous. Sorry, I'm getting over this cold that has claimed everybody.
Yeah, that hit us. That hit this house about 3 weeks over Christmas. It hit us.
Yeah.
My kids go from now 14. He's my oldest.
Wow, 14 now. Okay.
My girl is 11. She'll be 12 in May, and then my youngest, he is 4. He'll be 5 in May. And
Aw.
the littlest one was sick over Christmas, and like woke up, opened gifts, and then went back to bed. He's not that guy. Like, he's like a monster. He's just a terror. He's got third kid syndrome, I think. I say that as an only child, so I'm not 100% sure what third kid syndrome is, other than what he acts like. But he was down and out until the Saturday after Christmas. And then it hit everyone else but me and my daughter, because we have the best immune systems. So, like, we rarely get sick. And if we do, but what I got
What's your blood type? What's your blood type, though? Are you an O?
I have no idea.
No? Oh, you have no idea. Yeah. So continue. I'll circle back.
So, but what I ended up happening to me is I like missed being sick, but like that post sickness cough and like phlegmy feeling, I had that for like 3 days. Like, I was like, to the point where me and Mike were recording a podcast and I couldn't talk. Like, we had to cancel it. I was like, I can't talk. Like, I'm losing my voice. So like, it was a weird, that was the weird thing with me. Other than that, we were fine. What's this about blood types?
So there's this, back when like COVID was you had a chokehold on us. There was this article that came out that was talking about the different blood types that were more susceptible to getting COVID versus not. And type O was like the least likely. And type O in general are known for like having a more robust immune system. And Ace is type O. That's my husband, for anybody listening. And he never gets sick. He's never sick. And it makes me angry. He can also eat anything.
Right.
I'm type A, which is the worst. And they're always like, be prepared for diabetes and cancer.
Oh my God.
I'm allergic to everything. And it's, I'm allergic to corn now. Corn.
Wait.
Corn.
Now? That's like a new allergy? How do you...
It's a new one.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't realize corn was an allergy. Like,
no, it's not. They don't even include it on the labels. You have to like find it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it's terrible.
Wow. That's I'm sorry that
No, it's in everything. It's miserable. And I started just like drinking more because that's kind of the only thing I know is safe when I go out. I'll just like, order more alcohol, which that can't be good.
No.
And I also have to go to the doctor because now I get that thing. I've always had this where you like really flush immediately when drinking. And that's, I'm on the internet too much. And I looked that up and it's like, oh, you don't have a gene that digests something. And you could also like die from that. So anyway, it's not good.
Purposely avoid the internet for any kind of medical advice. I mean,
that's smart.
I will sometimes be like, all right, let me just see. And then like, I'll start reading it and I'm like, I don't understand it. I'm also getting two different sides of the story. I'm no doctor. I'll let the doctors handle it. But
that's wise. Good for you.
My 14-year-old is not like that. Like, he's he like worries about everything. He's like, when he was real little, he hated the sight of blood. And so like that kind of is his nature now. Just
But wouldn't you be worried if he loved the sight of blood? Like, wouldn't that be more of a worry?
I mean, there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground where you just don't freak out when you see it. Like,
yeah.
Yes, if he loved it, I'd be worried he was a little Dexter. Glad that didn't happen. But yeah, he one time looked something up and was like, Dad, am I dying because of XYZ? I was like, buddy, stay off the internet. Okay. Just you're fine.
Yeah. My oldest, he's 7. He's our little like worry wart. He's very much like that. And I worry about when he can have like the internet at his disposal. Like, definitely takes after me with the anxiety. Let me go fix it. I think that's an oldest child thing too, though. Like,
it might be, yeah.
Be a little bit more like that. My daughter, on the other hand, she's 5. She definitely is like second child. We got in, so we were driving up to your neck of the woods in October, and we got rear-ended on the freeway. And then Thanksgiving, we were driving back from Missouri, and in Tennessee, we had just gotten my husband's truck back, and I was driving, and then I hit a buck that jumped the median, and there was no time to react. Destroyed the car. So I feel really bad about that. Like, it was smoking. It's inoperable. We now have a minivan, so bye truck. But my daughter said the other day, she's like, I want to get in another car accident. I don't.
That's so funny. No. It's my 2 oldest, and I swear, everything is awesome, listeners. We'll move on to non.
No, you don't enjoy this?
I don't know.
Ourselves on the internet.
Yeah. Well, listen, that is a whole nother subject. The 2 older kids I have, so like a year or 2 ago, Aubrey, my middle, she was riding a quad. And listen, I know quads are for 16 years and up, but like, we were out in northwestern Pennsylvania where there's nothing else to do, and it's normal for kids under the age of 16 to ride quads. And
listen, I'm from the sticks of Missouri. My dad's side is from a town of 200 people. I only did illegal things.
Yes. Well, so she was going down the hill, and she's like, I want to see what happens when I just don't use the brakes. And then hit a bump and like either fell off or bailed, and ended up breaking her wrist. At first we're like, ooh, you're fine. You just hurt, like, it's just going to suck. And then like she was nursing it all night. And we're like, the next morning we're like, okay, let's go to the nearest hospital 2 hours away and get this looked at. And she ended up having like just a very minor break. Like, she was fine.
Yeah.
Now, last week, my son, my oldest, he wrestles, Trey, and he took a move wrong in a drill and heard a pop in his collarbone. And I'm like, oh, buddy, you probably maybe it's a dislocation. Like, just we'll be back after work and we'll take you to the ER. Like, we'll get it fixed. Broke his collarbone. I'm like,
oh no.
So they're competing about who had the worst injuries. But yeah, the collarbone is fun. He's handling it surprisingly like a champ for being the one that worries about everything. The only thing he was worried about was surgery, which we had an appointment the other day, and the doc said no surgery. You're still growing, even though he's as big as me. But he's and like the fun part for me a little bit is that like they're pressing on him to make sure it's not like pushing through the skin or whatever. And like, I'm waiting for him to freak out, and he's not, and he's just like gritting through it. And I was like, buddy, you've grown. You're so good now. Like, you would have a year ago, you would have been like a little bitch about it. Like, you're doing good. So
crying over your broken collarbone. Get over it.
Well, the first thing I said to him, and obviously he's doing school wrestling, and I did, we'll call it stage wrestling. I did sports entertainment. I looked at him and I was like, you took the bump wrong? I was like, buddy, have I taught you nothing? Like, come on, you can't get injured from your dad. Like, I was a wrestler. And he's like, Dad, you weren't a wrestler. I was like, all right, buddy. Like, listen, let's not get into it. Yeah. Yeah, so we're now the two older kids are just arguing all the time about who had it worst, even though one of them is completely healed because it's been 2 years.
Amazing.
And
And
then
that'll continue forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting for the day where they're like, and I realize this is a decade easy away, but when they're like friends, like, oh,
Yeah.
you guys are gonna be friends now. Anyway,
I love that though. That's yeah. I mean, well, you were a single child.
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
it is kind of fascinating. Like the dynamics of, like I have a sister, just how close we were, and then at other times we were like mortal enemies, and then close, and then far away. Like it's, just kind of continues on.
I also like, I feel like, and I don't have any other experiences other than people that I know, obviously, but like, I feel like it's different when it's boy, girl, boy, boy, girl, girl.
Totally.
Like, I feel like all three of those are wildly different scenarios. It's a little different with like Logan, my youngest, because he's so much younger than the other two. Like he's just very quick-witted and like at very early on, like at 2 or 3, he got the idea of being sarcastic. And that came from basically having 4 parents. Like he was in womb over COVID, so, and born in 2021. So like for like the first like couple months, because we were still even that late, and I don't know if it was late into COVID, but even that late when he was born, like we kept the kids home from school instead of sending them back, just to make sure that he didn't get sick or anything.
Yeah.
So like for the first like 6 months to a year of his life, like everything was very isolated for him. Compared to every other kid that I've, that I have and that like was older than him. So it was, I think he got the idea of being sarcastic and like a little asshole. And I mean that in like the kindest way.
Yeah.
He got that right away. He's probably the funniest of the 3. He's also the other 2 were very, very shy going into like new situations, and he 95% of the time will walk into a new place and be like, I'm here to take over the world. Like he's center stage, like to the point where I worry about vans with candy in them. Like he's the kid that'd be like, yes, I'll take some candy. I mean, they'll return him instantly, but he's the one that will say yes.
That's funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Kids love candy. I swear. I'm just like, you cannot take candy from somebody you don't know. You can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is fun on Halloween when we're like, go take candy.
But except for this. Now go take it from all the strangers, please. Yeah. And be nice to them. Be sure to say thank you. Talk to them.
Yep. This is the last thing I have on parenting, I guess. We used to be very much like my parents were, and I assume most parents were, and check candy religiously, like after the kids did it. Now, like for the last 3 years, we're kind of like no one's putting razor blades and like this is all dumb. We're no one's doing this. It's all very
Who has
dumb.
the time? Who has the time and the kit? Like razor blades are expensive, first of all.
Yeah. That's true. In a post COVID tariff world, things are too expensive to.
No, that's 90s shit right there. That's some like when you had hobbies and you had the time, and people don't have the attention span for something like that.
Speaking of the 90s, this is a great segue. Something that I really wanted to talk about is so for those that don't remember Erin from early days of Everything Is Awesome or the Once Upon a Wine podcast that we helped produce, you are big in like this is like, you're more than this, but you're big in the parody world. Like you do a lot more.
I take that on. I am honored by that. Thank you. Yes.
But you've done the Once Upon a Time parodies, the rock opera, which every time I talk to you, I say I gush. Like I love that. That is literally like at least an annual watch for me. I usually watch it once a
Aw.
year. I sometimes will just Google it to see what's up. You and I talked a couple months ago about like, oh yeah, last year was the 10-year anniversary, which blew my mind.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
And then like it's still being found. What blows my mind is still being found by an audience. Like I'll see it like
Yeah.
in Reddit posts that are months, like only a couple
my
months
God.
old.
The Reddits are the best. I love Reddit. It's my favorite of the social medias. You can find any answer there. It's amazing. So when we did, it came up to 10 years. I happen to have a friend in distribution, and I don't know what, we were just talking, and he's like, hey, do you have distribution on this? And I'm like, you know what? I never did. I never pursued it. Really, and I don't know why. Just I don't know. And he's like, well, toss it my way and I'll see what I can do. So when we hit the 10-year anniversary, we also distributed it. So now it's on like Tubi and Plex and Amazon and all those places. So now a new audience is finding it.
Yeah.
And they created, one person in particular created this wonderful Reddit stream, and it's so good. It's like exactly the kind of conversation that I would hope like new
Right.
people would have around it. Like, this is, so bad it's good, or I mean, not
Right.
even saying that, but they're just like, definitely get stoned. and
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
this.
Yeah. Well, and like
I can't turn this off even though I want to. Like just stuff like
Yeah.
that makes me smile. Yeah.
I feel like finding the rock opera like 10 years into its life is also a wild experience because like that show is also no longer around. And I mean, I guess there's still a fandom for it that talks about it on a regular basis, right? But like it's not in the like the public conscious anymore. Like it's not
Right.
so big that people are talking about it everywhere. So I feel like if I first found it now, I'd be like, what is this? Is this like
the thing that always gets me with it is because it was originally made to just go online with the rest of the web series that we did.
Right.
And it takes place in between the break of season 3. It takes place like after the midpoint of season 3. So it's not even like a new person could just come in and like really understand what's happening, because you also have to kind of watch the series, the web series we did, the Once Upon an Anonymous, because we pull characters from there. And then the show kind of started to pull characters that we had already started creating, because it's all based on IP. So we had already created like an Aladdin and a Tinkerbell, and then the show brought those characters on. So then we're also dealing with that. Like, we had 2 Tinkerbells because of that whole thing. It makes no sense. Like, no sense. Because we weren't thinking like, oh, this might be a thing. We were just like, oh, maybe 12 people will watch this. So.
It is crazy how big, like obviously Once Upon a Time was huge, but it's also crazy how like your little slice of that was as big as it was. Like obviously one of my, we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of screening it at New York Comic-Con. And doing the live podcast there. So like it is, which again, like hitting the mark of that movie hitting 10 years also made me realize, oh crap, because I've known you and Ace probably for a year or 2 before that, because we started talking with the web series. So like it's very like, it makes me feel old as hell, first of all.
Totally.
Also it's like it's wow, it's crazy that like, because the fandom for It was crazy to begin with, but then you guys had your own like sub fandom for it, which they were equally as crazy, and I mean crazy in a good way. The It fandom, not some of that was crazy in a bad way, but the It fandom that came to you guys, like they were, at least everyone I interacted with, was always like very cool, crazy. If that
yes, I really loved the people that we got to meet. They were like some of them became good friends. Like they were just great. Like, you know, and I think Parody attracts a good crowd in general because it's the people that are like want to poke fun a little bit at the fandom at the show, and it's all in like good spirited fun, and we all are just kind of like in this kooky little world together. There's my dog. He's nuts. I've had a crazy week. I have 13 meetings this week, and my dog has interrupted every single one. He knocked over a whole slew of folding chairs that I had lined up, and it was like one by one. I couldn't stop it. I'm just sitting here watching, like one by one, they all fall, and the people on the screen were like, "What is happening?"
I wish that happened
sorry
during
about that.
this, to be honest. That's
I
typical
know.
everything is awesome
It
energy.
would have been way more appropriate.
I'm sure. Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Because this is nothing.
It colossal. And my husband came home like right after that meeting, and he's like, "What happened in here?" Because the chairs were all over the floor. Anyway, but yeah, that was the Once Upon a Time era, or the Once Upon a Time rock opera era. I used to have such like PTSD around it because it was such a, I guess the word I'm going to use is scrappy. Like it was just such a scrappy time where there was so much happening, and it was the start, or kind of towards the start of like really doing things independently, and there were so many. I mean, I was running the social media, I was making the movie, I was in the movie, I was writing the music, I was, you know, producing the tour, and touring, and it was exhausting, and I also made a lot of mistakes, and so I kind of had a hard time watching it. Once we kind of put the podcast to bed, like I had a hard time with it, and with just feeling like, oh man, I wish I had done this differently or that differently or whatnot. And then like a year or two ago, we put it on for the kids, and kind of could just appreciate it in a whole different way. Like, okay, this was fun. You know, like it was, look how ridiculous this was. Look what we did. And grateful for like, you know, everybody that was a part of it. And yeah, so now I feel like I've kind of healed somewhat of that experience.
And like, I stand by the fact that like it is as good, if not better, than like season 5 or 6 onward of the real show. I didn't even watch season 7 of that show because it was a mess. It was a real mess for me. I also like, I remember, and so I've been going back and over the last like week or two, and another 10-year anniversary that's coming up is the Christmas album you guys did for the Once Upon a Wine podcast. So I've been listening to that over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
Because I think you and I talked about this. Like I want to do a like anniversary podcast for it, but it's like an audio drama. So like I'm writing something for that. And so to get in the mood, I've been listening to that, and it's
to get in the mood. Oh my God. So you're the people that are keeping the residuals flowing on that one. So.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Cause I've been listening to it on Spotify. And it's funny because I want to say when I first realized that was the 10-year mark for that album, I was like, oh God, what was it? I was searching for it, and it's not easy to find if you're just searching.
No, it's not easy to find. Yeah.
Yeah. But once you know Christmas Magic, Once Upon a Wine, easy. That's all you got to do. And it is a fun album.
It's a fun album.
For me. Yeah, it's so
that
fun.
Cost $100. That album, to make that whole thing, cost us $100, and you can hear like some of the mis-edits in it, so it's great. My favorite is the 12 Days of Christmas that we sang to you.
Yep.
And we did that all, I think, in one take.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is such a fucking mess. Let's keep it. I think almost everything we did in like 1 or 2 takes because we didn't have time, and you can hear just some of the weird edits in it, and it was so ridiculous.
Like, that song in particular, you literally hear me at the end go, "One take, we're good," and then like I do love albums that leave some of that like background noise in, because sometimes like, you know, it's it's just fun to hear some of that stuff. It happens
That was
there.
a quote creative choice.
It happens in another song that I was like, I forget what one it is, but I'm like, it was Katie doing the Ladies Man. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Oh my God, that's right. I'm absolutely certain that if that album gets any kind of, virality or whatever, I'll receive many like lawsuits. Because I'm a million percent certain we didn't clear anything. But so I also remember there's a song in there called Cookies or Santa's Cookies. That's like a rap song that I perform, and that was born out of a drunk. Oh God. Okay. So we would do the podcast. We would record the podcast, and then every once in a while we'd hop on live after the podcast and just talk. But we would genuinely drink during these podcasts, and I was not sober, and somebody, I don't know who suggested it. They were like, Erin, just start rapping. And then somebody gave me like the subject of Santa's cookies. And so this is still on the internet, by the way. I think I may have hidden it from the public, but this video still exists. I have it. And I'm pretty much word for word what I said in that moment is the song that's on the album. It's terribly inappropriate now. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to just, I wouldn't do this today. Like,
No.
I have like a fake rap voice on that absolutely is just, I would not do that today. So
well, listen, there's a whole era of my podcasting that I wouldn't do today when I was in the mid to late 2000s, from 2007 to 2010 is like when I was trying to be Howard Stern or like,
oh my God, we were all trying to be, that kind of humor, that like shock kind of like really sarcastic, almost like very in your face insulting was so big, like right around the birth of Twitter. And I feel like a lot of people got flack for that for like years, a decade later, but that was the brand of humor back then. It was kind of like, we're now all on social media. Let's just, who has the loudest voice, and that's kind of what was happening then. I'm not saying that was all right, but
right.
I don't hate, when cancel culture started to really come in, I don't know. I had some writer friends that I'm like, I think we're being a little harsh here and forgetting like the era that was happening.
Right. Well, and like in that exact instance, I always point to the James Gunn incident with Disney and when he got fired, like that. And listen, you could argue that like he was also like a decade older than most of the people commenting on it, right? Like he was in his 30s versus his 20s when those initial comments came out, and maybe he should know better. But like as someone who's now in their 40s, I did dumb shit in my 30s too. Like we're just always constantly doing dumb shit. So
constant.
But like, and obviously it worked out for James Gunn 100%. But like that was like, I always go to that moment of being like, you got to look at like what he was doing and when he was doing it. Like growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s, there was a sense of comedy that is 100% not okay. But that's just was the status quo, whether it doesn't make it right. To your point, like it doesn't make it right that we did it or whatever, but it is what it is. And as long as you've changed, I think that's what's important, right? Like,
yeah. And I think there's this quote by, I believe it's Andy Warhol, that's like, art is getting away with it. And I like that idea, because you do have like, there is more, people are using a little bit more shocking language and kind of un-PC jokes these days. We're seeing that kind of come back. And I think people are able to get away with it because it comes from a place of respect. You can tell when it comes from a place of disrespect or like hatred, and it's not funny. But I do think there's, there are people that can get away with those jokes because there's just some sort of, understanding or love there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
I'm
no.
just talking crazy.
No, and I also like it also has a lot to do with like how you're using it. Are you punching up or are you punching down? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So it's always, well, not always, but it's usually always funny when you're punching up because like you want to take the man down.
Yeah.
Typically it's a little crass when you're punching down on a group of people that are already not doing great.
Yeah.
So and that's like where I've like lived. And I have a friend who, when we were talking probably a couple of years ago about the James Gunn incident and like just who we were as people like 10, 15 years ago, he was like, well, I like to think about it like you literally after like 7 to 10 years, every layer of skin is completely new. Like you're literally a brand new person. And I was like, that's like great. Like that's a great way to think about it. Like it's, it helped me kind of come to terms with like some of the things I did in the early 2000s and 90s and stuff with my brand of humor back then, and kind of be able to accept it in a way that like doesn't also make me feel like a complete heel today. But back to your parody. So
I'm getting too deep.
Yeah. Listen, so sometimes that happens on this show. I had a guest, Tanya Todd, on where we were supposed to talk about her book, and we ended up talking about like activism for the full hour and a half.
Wow.
And whatnot. So sometimes this show gets deep, and that's okay. But there's a lot I really want to get to your project, and I know you have a limited time. So, but the next big parody you guys did, or that you did, was the Game of Thrones musical, right?
Yes. We had what's now Shame of Thrones.
Yes.
Thank you, HBO. So it's Shame of Thrones, and that was a stage show, and we performed that. We had a couple runs in LA, and then we had a run at Comic-Con, and then we went off Broadway, which was really fun. That was really, really fun. And then we did another run in LA when the last season was airing. We kind of did our thing. And that's another one of those shows, like we had this intention of doing it one way, and then it kind of took off. So originally the plan was we were going to do like a musical, because these were very low budget. We were going to do like each season of the show. So the show is season 1. It's not all the show. But then it kind of had its own legs, and we were doing this thing, and the whole time we're like, should we update this? Should we people are coming in expecting it to be the whole thing. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but see, my computer.
Oh
no. Telling me to move on. So that's one of those shows I want to bring it back, but we've been everybody, the producing team, which is myself, my husband, and then 2 guys named Steven. We've been kind of at this, like, how do we bring this to cover all the seasons? And just we're all busy with other projects, but I would love to bring that show to Atlanta. I think there's a really big audience for that here. I also just would love to do an updated version and go for it again, because I think now that the show has ended, it would do well, especially the way it ended, to do a Shame of Thrones after we've all had.
Yeah, I've gotten 3 seasons into Game of Thrones. I'm typically, as nerdy as I am, like that kind of like fantasy stuff, like it's really hard for me to get into. Like Lord of the Rings is just a bunch of walking to me. So like I'm not.
We're the same. We are the same. I feel similar. I did not, when they called me to do Game of Thrones, I thought, oh, well, okay, now I got to watch it. I had seen several episodes, and we had like friends that would watch it, so we'd go and watch it at their place. So I knew the basics of it. Ace was way more of a huge fan. So once I started watching it from the perspective of I'm going to be parodying this now, it was way more, and I came in right at like season 7, right when
Okay.
season 7 was airing. That's when I came on. So I also kind of hit at the right time when people were also complaining about the episodes. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so going back and then watching it through the lens of I'm parodying this, super enjoyable. And then I became like really, really into the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once I got, it took me like 3 or 4 watches of the pilot to like get past the pilot. And then I enjoyed it after that. Like I started enjoying it
Yeah.
through 3 seasons. It's just there's only so much time in the world I have, and I'd rather watch like Marvel and Star Wars and other
Yeah.
things like that. Um so you had to change the name. And I feel like I remember with it, you had you had 2 different experiences with I don't want to say creators, but like the IP owners, because I don't feel like anyone cared about the rock opera, right? Like they all embraced it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I mean, when we premiered it in September of 2015, it was at the Egyptian Theater in LA, and we had sold out. And then I had the showrunner of Once Upon a Time. I had their team reach out to me, and they all wanted to come. And some of the crew that was in town wanted to come and see it. And I sent out an email to like some of my friends and cast. I'm like, I will, whatever we need to do. Like I'll do a whole separate screening, but I have the actual show folks wanting to come see this thing, and I have no seats. I violated the fire code, I'm certain, in that theater. Not that they cared, it's pretty rundown, but I was trying to just, yeah, fit whoever I could in that. And then, yeah, they would come to like the different screenings. I remember when we did Vancouver, all of the costume department came and they brought me because Once Upon a Time was ending. They all brought me renderings of the costume designs. And
cool.
I still have those. And truly, probably one of the most like my most treasured like gifts I've ever gotten were all those costume designs. And that was really cool. And then that was hosted by by one of the dwarves. Michael
That's
plays
right.
Happy. Yeah. So he hosted that screening. We met with Lana, the Evil Queen, in Seattle when we were screening in Seattle. She called us to come to the convention and like hang out with her and Sean McGuire. And that was like the first one. Like that was kind of, first of all, her agent called on April Fool's Day and spoke to Ace to let us know like that Lana wanted us to come and like hang out with them at the convention when we would be in town. And so Ace is telling me this on April Fool's Day, and my husband is a huge prankster. And so I did not believe him for like a day. I'm like, you need to tell me this tomorrow, like, and then I'll know it's the truth. And then we get there, and I was still in such shock from the whole thing that I'm there in the lounge with everybody, and I was just dead silent the whole time. And like me and Ace are like, yo, you gotta talk. Like you gotta like you gotta like get up off the couch and come talk to these people. But I was just in like total shock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, HBO is laying the hammer down.
Yeah, HBO. The lawyers called us a couple times. Yeah, they didn't want us. They were like, "Hey, we're totally fine with what you're doing. You just need to change. Like, don't have the exact font that we have." And they were like, "Hey, we're okay with what Game of Thrones the musical as a title, but if this starts to get bigger, then we're gonna have to talk." And so we were able to carry that title. Even off Broadway, we had it. And then when we extended beyond our initial run in New York, then there was a conversation. And that really hurt us because we had to change our name mid-run in New York.
Right.
And so then that, yeah, if we had not changed our name during that, I think we would have run at least a year.
Oh, wow.
because we were at like 85% houses and growing, and we had several sellouts. And then when we changed our name, we also had to change venues at the same time. We dropped, and we had 2 days to do that. Also, we went from being in a castle to being on an apartment set, and so we had to make it a little bit more of a farce. It was bananas.
Oh,
like
wow.
when I say this was my scrappy era, I really mean it. Like it was truly bananas. And on top of it, our director had to go have surgery, so he wasn't there. So we had to go come up with 5 doors. How do we use 5 doors now in this musical? But we came up with some really great stuff that we've kept. But yeah, we went from 85, 90, 95% houses to like 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was, then it started to grow again, but recouping that was really hard. And so we ended up having to close. But yeah, one of the best times of my life was doing that show in New York with the cast. We all lived together. It was wild. It was just,
That's fun.
it was awesome. Yeah.
Now, and I don't know if I know you've done a lot of work since then, but I think the next, well, I guess you had the Blockbuster thing that was kind of a parody.
Yeah. So we did Save the Video Store, and then Save the Video Store 2.0, which 2.0 was the horror Y2K version, and then Save the Video Store was like the 90s, kind of all-encompassing a 90s blockbuster version. These are for people listening, it's an immersive video store experience that took place in this store called Movie Buster. And the basic gist of it is that you walk into the store and all of the sort of iconic character archetypes and then like scenes, moments from the movies of the 90s happen in real life, and you've got to save the video store. So like we had a bomb like a la Speed. We had like a hybrid alien dinosaur, because aliens and dinosaurs were really big.
Right.
And we kind of kept some of like the themes that we had for the first one into the second one. So like the second one, which we had like a hybrid, we called it the Predapire. So we a hybrid predator and a hybrid and vampire. Like a sexy vampire. So so we kept like some, running jokes. We had the manager, who was one of the favorite characters from the first one. He's still working at the second one. And we made it like it's the same store. So the second one, it's the 2000s, so it's starting to like show its cracks, and Netflix is coming. We made like Netflix the villain, and YouTube and all that, and that was really fun. So yeah, those were a blast. Also very stressful. Those were like my first things I did in Atlanta, so there was just a big learning curve around getting to know Atlanta and just the lay of the land here. Every region's different. But just fun. I'm still really, really good friends with a lot of the cast and crew. We have a text chain that is active every day. It's crazy. Like wild. The weirder the thing is, like the more niche, I feel like the city is really receptive to that. Like I said, and I'm not kidding about puppetry. It is a huge thing out here.
Which is so, and Puppets and Muppets, they're very similar. I just got done watching like a week or two ago, or maybe it was right before the new year, the new Knives Out movie. And I was talking to a friend about it. I was like, what I want to see? I just want to see a Muppet version. Like, just have Daniel Craig be the human.
That's such a good idea.
And he doesn't feel out of place. Like, he talks like Foghorn Leghorn. Like, he talks like a Muppet. Like, he would fit in perfectly with Kermit and everybody.
You absolutely need to put that out on like your platforms. Like, just here's an idea. Like, you absolutely need to pop and tag everybody involved.
Ryan Johnson, come on, buddy.
Yeah, did he did the last one as well?
He did all 3 of them. Yeah, he
did all 3. Okay, yeah, tag him and Daniel Craig. Do it. I that's such a good idea, and I would absolutely watch that.
And I also think that conversation, I feel like a lot of things could just work as Muppet movies, but that specifically would. Like, it's just
That
a
one,
great
a
Muppet
million
idea.
percent. And I want it to be violent. Like, it needs to have the violence too.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if you watch The Boys at all.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, they have the Gen V spinoff as well. And there's
I have not watched that.
I don't know if you've seen that one. So there's a character on there that sees Muppets, and then they have these really violent, like they use that as a device to not show like the mass murders that he commits.
Oh,
like
my
so they
God.
cut to the Muppets doing it, and the blood is like, paper. It's
My God.
great.
Well, now I'm gonna watch that.
It's even more psychotic and unsettling because of that.
Well, all right. So you're getting ready in May, right? To do Macbeth
Yes.
Friends.
Yes.
Is that what's the whole name of it?
Well, it's just Macbeth, but the logo is in the
is the-
style of the Friends font. All the social media is Macbeth and Friends. The website's Macbeth and Friends.
That's
It's not
right.
up yet. Don't go to it. It's not up yet. So, and that's something I'm like, originally I'm like, do I call it Foes? Do I kind of have it have its own title? But I don't know. The logo on all black just keeps sticking with me. So I've just been doing that. It may change, but right now it's just Macbeth. So it's an adaptation of Shakespeare's play, but retold through the lens of a Friends episode.
I love it.
So why not?
Love it.
I think I'm losing it. So it takes place modern day. And it's kind of this it is a dark parody thriller. Like it's very sitcom-y, but it's also very genre. It's told in modern speech with some of the Shakespeare weaved in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is dark, and I will say, like, there is some punch in there. It kind of explores like communication in community in today's world, what we're losing. That's the general gist of it.
When I saw, and I don't know why, like when I first saw you post something on social about it, I was like, why do I feel like and I don't know if it was because you had like the social accounts created already. I was like, I feel like this looks somewhat familiar, and maybe we talked about it off air very briefly because it was all a little familiar. Because I was like, Macbeth and Friend, well, like as a Friends episode I was like, that sounds familiar. I was just talking to a friend about it, and I was like, I'm at a point in my life where I do have a little bit more time on my hands, but that's the weekends you're doing it are literally like the month of May is two
It's
kids'
crazy.
birthdays. Yeah, so for like, I was like, I was so close. I was looking up plane prices. I was like, oh man, I might go. I was so close, but I was like, logistically, I have two kids' birthdays and Mother's Day, and it's so I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Yeah,
I didn't get to pick the time so
dates,
much,
yeah.
the month.
And
it's a darker show. I would have definitely wanted to do it more in like the fall, but maybe we will, elsewhere. So,
well, I'm totally like, I'll be paying attention because like it's so like you guys now live on the East Coast. Casey Spivey, who has been on the show and worked on Thrones with you guys, she lives in New York now. And like I'm talking to everyone, I'm like, I literally now I'm at a point, like I have older kids now. I mean, I do have the 5-year-old, but like I'm at a point in my life now where I can just do what I want. Like I don't have to be here. So I'm like, oh, like I'm totally like, so at some point when you guys do something, I do want to get down there, just not in the month of May. But like it's cool because like all you guys that were out west do live in a relatively like I can almost commute there pretty easily. Like it's not
it's
not
very
LA
easy.
hard.
Yeah. It's very nice. Like part of the reason we relocated out here is because I was it's an entertainment base, although everything's kind of crazy right now, but getting to New York City from here is so easy, and getting to St. Louis, and so Ace's family's from New Jersey. I mean, it's so much easier than it was in LA,
Right.
and cheaper. Like I, I found tickets to something I wanted to see in New York a couple years ago, and the tickets were like $50. And then I thought, okay, all right, I'm going to do this if the flight is reasonable. And the flight was 20 something bucks. Like cheaper to fly to New York than to get an Uber to go downtown Atlanta.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and it's funny because I feel the same way about Philadelphia as far as like for me, it's like, oh, I can get to New York in 2 hours. Like
yeah.
me and Trey went to go see Hamilton. And that's
Yeah.
an hour and a half train ride. 2 hour, I can do it in 2 hours if I break a couple laws if I want to drive. And DC again is about 2 hours away. Breaking some laws, I can get there in 2 hours. The shore is right there. Like everything a lot of things that I would want to do is within 2 hours or so of where I am. And then
Yeah.
flying is, Philadelphia is one of those big hub airports. So like,
Mhm.
and I'm not that far away from the Newark airport. Like if I want to fly out of Jersey or, there's
Yeah.
plenty of options for it. So that's one of the reasons why like I would never I don't have any intention on really leaving, though the impending snowstorms makes me rethink about Tampa, Florida a lot.
Tampa. So funny.
Tampa, so we went there for spring training for the Philadelphia Phillies, and a lot of that, well, Clearwater specifically is
Clearwater. Mm-hmm.
it feels a little bit like Philadelphia light. There's a lot of Philadelphia.
I can see that.
stuff there.
Yeah. Yeah. My
Um,
senior spring break was in Clearwater.
yeah,
Crazy.
it is it's a fun little area, and it doesn't snow. I mean, you know what? I say that now. I mean, it
Yeah,
doesn't
give it
snow
5 years.
as often this year. Yeah, I know. Actually, I think it did snow. I don't know if it was on the west coast of Florida or the east coast. I remember somewhere in Florida, I heard that there was a little bit of snow, and I'm like, you got it. It's not safe from snow anymore. Like, what are we doing?
No. But I do feel of the southern states, Florida could handle it. Like, the infrastructure, you just need a couple guys with a shovel.
Right.
And they'll get it done.
And I mean, I shovel in shorts, so I would fit in down there. So
That's
it's
amazing.
It's easy.
Yeah.
All right, Erin, thank you so much. I know you're on a time crunch here, and you are
No, all good. If I may just plug the website for anybody
Yes,
that would be interested.
100%.
Let me make sure I get this right. Okay. So everything right now is at Art Farm Serenbe, which is SERENBE.org. That's the venue that's doing it. It's an outdoor venue. And it's kind of
that's
got an
fun.
immersive feel to it. Yeah, that's a big open field. And we're going to be doing some front of house stuff too. I'm hoping to have like a band in there. So it really is kind of like more of an experience. And I mean, if you like Shakespeare, if you like Friends, this is a really ridiculous, hopefully very entertaining show.
Yeah, I'm excited,
very excited for it.
I'm excited to hear how it goes for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm and I know we didn't even touch on all the other stuff you're working on. You're more than just the parodies, so we haven't even touched on any of that. But so we'll have to have you on again at some point to talk about other projects that you're actively working on. But this is the important stuff. All right. Well, thank you once again for hopping on.
Thanks for having me,
soon.
Kevin.
Thank you once again to Erin for coming on the show and catching up, chatting. All the links that we talked about at the end of the show there will be in the show notes, because I know some of them are a little bit longer. You may not have been able to catch it as you're driving, or even if you're watching here on YouTube, you may not be able to catch it. But man, I guess got to say again, like I really do cherish the friendship I have with Team West Coast, with Erin and Ace especially, because it is one of the coolest things to come out of, for me, almost 19 years of podcasting. I've known them longer than this podcast, but they've been a part of this podcast. They're built into the DNA of this podcast for the last 10 years. and to kind of share the end of this 9th year moment with Erin. She probably doesn't realize how much that means to me, but it means a lot. It means a lot that like people that lived in LA and me living in the Philly area, like there's no reason that after they stopped podcasting that we still stayed connected, and we did. And I will always cherish that, man. Like I love the work that Erin does. I love the work that Ace does. I love that they still, you know, are in some sort of communication with me. Do we talk all the time? No, but do we talk more than, you know, some best friends that I had growing up? Yeah. And we do. And that's really cool. I'm going to level with you here. I'm not feeling great. You might hear it in my voice. I have probably recorded this outro 5 or 6 times. So I'm going to try to not get emotional this time or have a coughing fit and wrap this thing up in a timely manner. So again, thank you to Erin for helping us wrap up 9 years of awesome. And we're going to be entering 10 years of awesome next week. Really excited about that. 2016, a lot of things happened. Mostly good. I think, at least in America, we all have one thing that we all hate that happened. But personally, I have the loss of my uncle as well. So there's some bad things that we'll be celebrating here in 2026 as well. But we're going to celebrate, and we're going to have fun this year. You know, we do interviews, we do panels, we do live shows. And for episode 100 and 200, we've done actual play shows. And I want that stuff to happen more. Losing my uncle and my father last year has taught me anything, is that life is fucking short, man. And that life is precious. And that you got to have fun. If grieving the way that I've grieved for the 8.5 years I did, you don't have fun like that, man. So, so I'm really grateful for, you know, it sucks losing a parent. It sucks losing your father, but, losing my dad and dealing with that, in the beginning of 2025, I think taught me how to grieve properly, and helped undo a lot of bad mental things I had going on after losing my uncle. So all that is to say, because we can talk about grieving and stuff as we get closer to that anniversary. All that to say is that we're going to have fun for the 10th anniversary of Everything Is Awesome. It's not just a 1-week celebration. I'm not going to say it's 52 weeks of celebrating. Heavens no, it's not. But we're going to be doing some fun things. We're going to be talking about all the different things that we got to do in 2016 all over again in 2026. It's reboot time, baby. No, we're going to have fun. And I want to thank you all. And I'll probably do this again next week more appropriately when we're officially hitting 10 years. But anyone that's been listening to this show for as long as I've been doing it, or hell, even if you just started this week, thank you all for listening to a giant nerd have just fun conversations for 10 years. That's all this is me talking to people that I find interesting and wanting to learn more about them and what they do. Even with Erin, who I've known for almost a decade and a half, I got to learn more about her in this conversation, about things that I didn't know about her and the projects she was working on. So like, it's every episode is just an opportunity to sit down with a new best friend and sit down and chat with them. And then sometimes you get really, really lucky doing an episode of a podcast and they turn into someone like Erin, like Ace, like Jeff Stormer, you know, like people like that who not only are you best friends with for that particular episode and talking to them and learning about them, but you also become friends with them in real life, and you get to work with them on projects that you never thought you would work on, or you just get to be friends with them and get to, maybe you don't talk every day, maybe you don't hang out every day, but you know that if you're like, hey man, let's do this, they'd probably say yes. Sometimes it's easier than for others than it is for other people, but whatever it is, man, I love the fact that this show and podcasting in general has introduced me to a world of people that I wouldn't have known otherwise. And that extends to the listeners. Like, I don't know all our listeners, obviously, but there are people who listen that have reached out and shared their condolences or have shared stories about their own grief. And that doesn't happen without this. So I fear I'm getting long-winded again. So let's wrap it up. Make sure you listen to us on your whatever podcast platform of your choice is. Make sure you're listening, you're subscribing, you're following, whatever they call it these days. Make sure you're leaving a 5-star rating review. Let us know that you did and where you did. We'll read it right here on the air. Those reviews help us get more eyes on the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, or hell, even if you're not watching us on YouTube, even if you are just an avid podcast listener, you like hearing my voice in your ear holes, go over to that YouTube, at That Nerdy Kev, subscribe, like, and comment on the videos, because again, that all helps in the engagement. And as engagement grows and we grow and we get to do bigger and cooler things, it just makes us be able to put out more exciting content for you guys. And I got plans for 2026, guys. I got plans that I hope that they all happen in some fashion. I want to try to make them all happen. You can follow, the show has social media in places, but realistically, the best place to follow updates about this show is through me at That Nerdy Kev. If I'm available on a social media platform publicly, at That Nerdy Kev is the place that you can find me. We are no longer on TikTok. We'll probably have an episode about that in the future, but no longer on TikTok. But everywhere else, I'm trying to find my TikTok was where I grew as a social media person, so I'm trying to find something to fill that hole, because I was good at TikTok. Anyway, yeah. Thank you all for listening to Everything is Awesome. I'm Kev, and you're listening to us right here only on awesomepodcast.com.